Hey guys, Mr. here, and I was given the option of choosing between the Galaxy Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. And guys, guess what I picked? So this is the Galaxy Note 10, and at first glance it doesn't look like a Note device, rather it looks like the S10. However, this comes in at 6.3 inch, but it feels pretty small, especially when compared to the Note 10 Plus and other devices that I currently have. So you might be wondering why I picked this guy instead of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Well, it's majorly because of the size, guys. So for my type of hands, this feels really good to hold. Plus there's no fear that I might accidentally drop this, unlike the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. If you have bigger hands, you might not feel this way, but yeah, moving away from that, Samsung is going with a boxy shaped design on the Note 10, and I love it because it looks different from other devices that we've seen, at least this year. Another thing that is quite impressive on the Note 10 is the screen to body ratio. As you can see, there is almost no top or bottom bezels at all. Plus you get curves on both sides that give you a good grip. One drawback though is the fact that the back attracts a lot of fingerprint stains, even more than it should be. So you might need to grab a case like I did. By the way, this is the Samsung LED clear case for those who are wondering. Now still on the Note 10, you get a 1080p AMOLED display, which is quite a bummer, but in Samsung's defense, it's been said that the human eye can't see the quality difference. I really don't believe that, but yeah. Anyway, there's Gorilla Glass 6 on both the front and the back of the device, but take my word for it, guys. Make sure you don't use this without a case. Now for those wondering, it took me about this long to power on the Note 10, placing it on this spot in the leaderboard. Now once you power it on, the punch hole becomes quite obvious, but I noticed that it is quite smaller than what you get on the Galaxy S10. Do I like the fact that it's in the middle? Well, I'd say I'm indifferent, but what I can't wait to see is the different types of wallpapers that people would create to fit this thing. Samsung has moved the fingerprint sensor from the back to the display, like what you get on the Galaxy S10. I mean, something that we're expecting, so this is not surprising. Now on top of the device is the SIM card slot. Beside that is the speaker and the mic. Now onto the right side, you don't have any buttons because Samsung has moved everything to the left side, and there's a bit of change. So you have the regular volume button because I don't think that is going anywhere anytime soon. However, instead of having a dedicated power button and Bixby button, Samsung has merged everything into one tiny button. Slightly confusing, right? Well, let me explain. When you tap on the button, you can wake and sleep the device like normal, but if you hold it for a bit longer, it doesn't turn off the phone no matter how long. Instead, it launches Bixby. Now Samsung has included a way for you to turn off the device right in the notification panel, but if you don't like it, like I didn't really like it because it takes some time getting used to, you can actually remap this by going to the settings. Now moving away from all of that, the earphone jack has finally been laid to rest. Samsung claims that they did that in order to add more battery juice, but I feel that they just wanted to kill this guy. I mean, if you can create a space for the S Pen on this thing, then they could definitely fit an earphone jack. Now one cool thing to note about the Note 10 is the audio. So it comes with a stereo speaker, which is mind-blowing, guys. To the back of the device, there's a bit of upgrade. So you get a triple camera setup, which consists of a 12MP main camera. There's also a 2x telephoto camera and an ultra wide angle camera. Now in addition to all of that, Samsung included a couple of features. Now, one major one is the live focus mode for video that gives you a nice depth of field. Now, this is something that you can't do on a smartphone, at least for now. The only gadget that you can do it on is a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You also have an improved super steady shot for video, so stabilization on this thing is pretty sick. And finally, there is the zoom in mic, which enhances the sound that is coming from a particular place on which you are focusing on. So imagine if you're filming this guy on a busy street. By zooming in on him, the Note 10 will tune out all the street noise and actually amplify the sound coming from that man. Let's not forget about the front camera. It does a good job, at least based on first impression. I noticed that it does well in good lighting condition, but in low light there's still the issue of softness going on. But more on this in my full review, so let me know if you want that in the comment box. Now, the Galaxy Note 10 is not complete without the S Pen. So they finally included a motion sensor. Now, an example of what you can do with that is to flip the selfie camera. You can even use this to zoom the camera by rotating your hands, but something tells me that this particular feature will probably be used only once or twice. Now, Samsung has also added a feature that lets you convert your handwriting to text, and it doesn't stop at that. After converting them to text, you can later convert it to any document format, be it PDF or doc format, which is nice. I mean, I'm not sure how often I'll use that, but it's great to have on the Note 10. Now, in addition to all of that, Samsung has introduced some augmented reality features. For example, you can use the AR Doodle to add lettering or text to the scene. Now, the best part is you'll be able to see your drawing from different angles by simply walking around the room. Another thing that is quite mind-blowing is bringing live 3D objects. Now, with this, you can actually move and watch your 3D object move along with you. Like I said, I'm not sure how many times I'm going to use this, but it's actually a great feature to have nonetheless. Now, the RAM on the Note 10 coupled with the processor will get you flawless gaming. I tried to play PUBG and guys, it was so smooth. Of course, there are some issues that I noticed, at least during my first impression. For example, there's a bit of overheating going on at the back. It's not really obvious, but I did notice it, and I would delve into it in my full review. But guys, that's all for my first impression of the Galaxy Note 10. Now, the only reason why I picked this device is because of the size. Otherwise, the Note 10 Plus offers more features, especially for power users. For example, you get a slightly bigger screen and resolution, MicroSD card expansion, although something tells me that I wouldn't be needing that because this comes with 256 GB of RAM, which is also cool. And finally, there's the fact that the Note 10 Plus supports 45 watts supercharge, which is not what you get on the Note 10. Now, despite this, I am actually intrigued by the Note 10, and I'll tell you why. Well, it's because this is actually the first pocketable phone with a stylus.